Have you ever started typing a document, and let's say it's a fairly lengthy one, and if you're like me, you prefer to just do all of your typing all at one time rather than stopping to format. So when you do go back and format, you find that maybe at the top of the first page you need to add some, oh, I don't know, bold italics and underline even to a particular heading. And then as you scroll down, you realize that you need to apply bold italics and underline again, and as you scroll down you need to repeat that process many times. Well, you don't really need to do that. Once you add that bold italics and underline to the first kind of text, you can simply format paint. And that Format Painter button is one of the most important tools that you have on the ribbon. Well, not only does your Format Painter paint formatting on text, it can also copy formatting on images or on shapes. And when you do that, then that is just such a wonderful shortcut for you and your document creation. Hi, I'm Terry, one of the Consumer Technology Specialists for Mid-Continent Public Library. And today we are going to look at some examples of how we can use the Format Painter. Let's take a quick peek at our example document today, and it's really small, and you can even see that I've already changed the title. But as we go down, we can see that here's a heading and here's a heading, and as I scroll down some more, here is more heading text and even some more heading text. So we have at least 4 headings within this document, and as I went down, you can see that we also have some pictures here that we might want to format. And as we go through, we may even decide to add some shapes as well. Well, let's start with the heading, and I'm just going to select that first heading, and then I'm going to format it. And I probably personally wouldn't do this, but just to make it stand out, let's make it bold and italics and underlined, 12 point, so it's a little bit larger than the regular font. And let's go with red to make it stand out even more. So let's say that that is my heading style, and I want to take that heading formatting and copy it throughout my document. Well, if I only have one more heading, what I would do is click where I've added my formatting, and then go to the ribbon on the Home tab, and the very first grouping here is the clipboard. And you're probably already familiar with cut and copy and paste, but this fourth button that is supposed to at least look like a paintbrush is the Format Painter. So I click on it, and when I click on it, you can see that it's turned on because it has a gray background behind it. And then as I bring my mouse over into my document, you can see how now my mouse pointer looks like it has this paintbrush attached to it. So all I do is click and drag over the letters that I want to format in this new formatting, and the second heading is done. Isn't that amazing? Well, what I can do though is use the Format Painter slightly differently, because usually if you have one heading, you have several, and in this case we have 2 more. Well, what I don't want to do is click on a heading, then go to the Format Painter, and then click on the new heading and of course reformat it. But if the button turns off, then I have to repeat that process a bunch of times. So what I'd like to do is turn on that Format Painter and have it stay on. Well, I can do that, and it's a simple idea. All I need to do is click where I have the formatting that I want. Then when I go to the Format Painter, double click. Now you can tell that it's on because again we've got that gray background. But now when I take my paintbrush and paint over the one heading, it certainly changes the formatting, but notice that my mouse pointer still has that paintbrush on it, and so I can come down and use that again. Now I still have that paintbrush, so if I had more heading styles or more headings that I needed to have styled and formatted, I would just simply find those and click and drag over those as well. when I am finished with all of that painting that I'm doing, I simply press Escape to turn off the Format Painter. Now that was really easy, wasn't it? Well, now let's go back and look at our pictures. So I'll click on the first one here, and when I do, I get a contextual tab on the ribbon. It's on the top far right where it says Picture Format, and I'm going to click on it. And then in the middle, I have a Picture Styles group. And on the left of that, I have a gallery of picture styles. And I'm just going to do that rather than spend a lot of time creating my own. I think I'm going to come to this one. It's fairly distinctive, but it's a compound frame. So I'll click on it. And when I click off, I can see that I have that nice compound frame. Well, what if I want to use the Format Painter to actually add a frame to another picture? Well, I can do that. So let me select my picture and then go back to Home, go to the Format Painter, turn it on, and then come down to this picture of the old truck, click it, and now was that easy or what? It was even easier than going up to Picture Format and going to the gallery, but I can use the Format Painter to actually format the borders and whatnot of a picture. Now there's another way to do this, so I'm going to undo. And this time, what I'm going to do is click on the picture that has that compound frame, and I'm going to use a keyboard shortcut, which is Control, Shift, and C for copy. Then I'll come down to my picture that doesn't have the picture frame and do Control, Shift, V for paste. And again, I have used essentially that Format Painter to take the formatting that is in one picture and add it to another. That is so fast and so easy. That is just a great tool. Well, let's do one more thing. We can also add in a shape, and to do that, I'm going to go to Insert, and I'm going to go to Shapes, and I think I'm just going to add an arrow. So I'll click the arrow, and let's say I want to have an arrow pointing to this image for some reason. Let's make it kind of like that. And I'm going to turn it around, so I'm going to use my little tool here to flip it so it's pointing toward my picture. And I think I'm even going to go with the shape fill and make it red. Oh, maybe it should be the darker red. And also the shape outline, I think, should be that darker red. Then when I come down here to my second picture and I again want to insert a shape, and I'll add in my arrow again, make them about the same, flip this one around. I don't have to go through all the same process because now all I do is click on the first one that has the red fill and the red border. I can go back up to Home, go to the Format Painter, and click on this second shape, and ta-da, I now have the red fill and border for my second arrow. There is one other use of the Format Painter that you might consider. I find it not as reliable, but it is something that you may try from time to time depending on your document. And so to show you that, I have added a few more kind of fake paragraphs and headings, but what we're going to do is we're going to go up to the paragraph group in the ribbon and turn on our Show Hide button. And then I'm going to scroll down, and as we go through, you can see that we now have the paragraph mark at the end of each paragraph. Now, the idea behind this is that the paragraph symbol that you use and that you can see when you have the Show Hide button holds all of the formatting for a paragraph. So if I, for example, come to this paragraph and I decide to indent, so I can go to paragraph and say increase the indent, then I should be able to come down, select that paragraph mark, that again we can only see if we use the Show Hide button. But go to the Format Painter, and I'm going to double click on it, and then I should be able to click and drag and have that formatting copy even without just clicking and dragging over all of the paragraph, but simply by clicking and dragging over the paragraph mark at the end. So you may want to try that as you work with your document as well. So as you can see, the Format Painter can help you with all sorts of formatting in several different ways between text and images and shapes, and it really allows for a much more consistent formatting effort within your document. And the best part is it speeds up the process of creating that document just so much faster. So I really hope you will try that Format Painter. To learn even more, visit mymcpl.org/online learning, where you will find online resources that include Universal Class, LinkedIn Learning, and Learning Express Library. Be sure to join us each week as we present a variety of tech topics. Each week we premiere 3 new videos. You'll be able to find them at 1 o'clock on Wednesday and Friday, or at 2 o'clock on Tuesday. You can find us on Facebook at MCPL 360, or if you prefer, be sure to subscribe to our MCPL MO channel on YouTube, where you'll be able to find our MCPL Consumer Technology Resources playlist.